Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with another thing older Black women should tell younger Black women, but don't. Girls, surround yourself with people who reflect your values. I was talking to my nephew today. He is absolutely fabulous. I can't say enough good things about him. He lives in New York, in Brooklyn. He's got multiple degrees, just an all-around stand-up guy, but like outside of those trappings of this is what someone is supposed to do and he's hit all the milestones, he's just a really wonderful man. He is so solid, so thoughtful, so considerate. Whenever I'm around him, I just feel peaceful. Like his spirit is just chef's kiss. And he's been a brick as I'm kind of navigating all the challenges that go with taking care of a mother who has dementia and all the staticky relatives that come with that. And he's been my ace in the hole. You know, he's been just a wonderful sounding board, just a real comfort to me. And it got me thinking about how sometimes we don't always value those quiet, strong presences in our lives. The friend who you call when you want to go to a cafe and try out a new tea house, or that person that you call who always listens and just doesn't interrupt. And when you're done, you just feel lighter and more at ease in your skin. I think we don't value those people enough because we're kind of conditioned to seek out flash and humor and just things that are in your face. And that's wonderful, but those quiet presences in your life, those people who really embody your best lifestyle, your best values, those are the people that you really need to nurture the relationship. And those are often the people that we neglect in favor of people who are basically more staticky, people who create a lot of chaos, but they do it in a bid to put themselves in front of us and get our attention. It's like my blog today. I talked about quiet confidence and how you can cultivate that and the value of it on treatmebetta.com. So if you have a minute, you should go check that blog out. But I just can't say enough about the value that I have found personally and professionally by cultivating relationships that are just not staticky. The people who aren't trying to get attention, the people who aren't the loudest person in the room, maybe the people who you may not even notice them right away in a party. But those are the people that you remember because you remember that wonderful conversation that you had with them over a glass of wine while everybody else was talking too loud and posturing and trying to show off and all that stuff. Those quiet friendships, they can do so much for your spirit, for your emotional state. They can do so much for your mental capacity to deal with life. My nephew is like the human equivalent of Xanax. And it's because he and I share the same values. I mean, it's not that weird that we would because I raised him, but people go their own way when they become an adult, and he's lived in New York for many, many years, and he's had ample opportunities to cultivate who he is as an individual and has done a wonderful job of that. But somehow he and I are like two peas in a pod, and I don't talk to him every day. I think of him often, and he's always doing something wonderful that we can have quiet celebrations on the phone. And when I go to New York to visit him, it's just like the most wonderful experience. He'll put like 20,000 miles on my feet, going all his different haunts all over the city and just sliding into a day in the life of Todd. And I can't stress enough the value in people like that. And I realize that all of my friends have that quality, that stillness, that peacefulness about them. And I think it comes from an inner knowing, an inner confidence, an inner security. And I have self-worth, and this is what I stand for, and these are my values, and I don't compromise. This is my integrity, and I have boundaries, and you will not cross them. And not in a staticky way, not in a puff your chest up, pop your neck type way. This isn't that. This is just peace, certainty, knowing. And that is what you need in order to move forward. Because when you have constant static, things fall through the cracks. When you have constant static, you miss things. You don't have the energy to seek out new opportunities. The ideas won't even come to you because you're so distracted by all the whole shit that's going on around you. And sometimes, honestly, I'm not a trusting person as a rule because I feel like people are They do hoe shit. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And my nephew and I will laugh all the time at people, like, because we don't understand why people do certain things. We understand, but you know what I mean. I think older Black women don't talk enough about how important it is to cultivate relationships with people who really share your values. People who have integrity, people who want the same things out of life and repel the same things in life because they understand the damage that can be done and the hindrance that certain things present to meeting your potential and even just living well. So don't neglect your quiet friends. Don't neglect those friends that your louder associates might call boring. Those people who are just peaceful, who might be, the human equivalent of Xanax. Don't neglect those people because your spirit needs peace. Your mind needs peace. Your heart needs to rest the same way that your body does, the same way that your mind does. And when you cultivate and surround yourself with people who share your values, people whose integrity can't be compromised, you will set yourself up for success. You will set a good foundation upon which to build. And that ends my TED Talk for today. I'll see y'all tomorrow.